Is there anything in your life that you consider a silver bullet, something that makes your life easier? Is it piece of cake? It's easy and it just removes all of the hassle from whatever you're trying to do? I have one that I love to share, and I actually have a few, but there's one that I'm going to share with you today. Stay tuned for the topic of the day. I'm Emma Viglucci from MetroRelationship.com, a private practice where we specialize in working with couples who are feeling disconnected. We help them get on the same page, increase their connection, their intimacy, their fun, and create their strong partnership. We help them resolve any recurring patterns that they have, and we sprinkle in some self-love and some self-care for good measure. If these topics resonate for you, feel free to subscribe. Click that notification button so you get notifications when we drop new content. And also, if you find that you would like additional support, feel free to use the link in the description box to get started with an initial session so that we could discuss how we could best support you. Now, for today's topic. Today, we're talking about our theme for November, which is appreciate. And of course, I created this theme for this month because of Thanksgiving. And I wanted to really milk this topic of appreciation, gratitude, thankfulness, being thankful. And so I want to describe a little bit about why it's so important to be grateful and to be thankful, the benefits of it. And then I'm going to show you how to embrace that state and how to cultivate it and how to add it more into your life so you get all the benefits from it. Okay, so number one benefit of why you might want to consider making this a thing, more prominent thing in your life overall. So there are brain chemistry changes and even structural, more rewiring when you are in gratitude. So when you trigger the gratitude for yourself, the gratitude center of your brain, trigger gratitude within yourself, that part of your brain activates. And the benefit of that is that when you're in that state, the brain can also be in a fear state at the same time. So that's a benefit in and of itself, right? In that you won't be in the fear reactive defensive place in all the patterns showing up. You'll be more in that fun, easy, flowy, feeling good place. And that in of itself is amazing. But the benefit of the brain change is that it creates an overall feeling of wellness and health. It signals other parts of the body as well, so that you actually prevent disease, cure disease, all kinds of things. Okay. So, just for this one, it would behoove us to take this seriously. Now, number two has to do with when we're in a gratitude state, we automatically feel better, and that better feelings create better energy, more alignment with who we really are, our more radiant self, not the bummy self that bangs around. And from that place, we're just more attractive overall. So we make life easier in all areas of our life when we're showing up with our better self, with a more radiant self, with better energy. We automatically create everything much better and much easier, and things just work out easier. So that was number two. Number three, when we look for things to appreciate and to be grateful for, and we're in that gratitude kind of mindset, that positivity counters our tendency to have a negativity bias, right? So we are building with a negativity bias as a survival mechanism so that we look out for danger and things that are threatening. And that's what that filter in our brain and in our mind does. We look for danger and negative things so that we don't get hurt and so we don't die, emotionally die of famine, because nowadays we don't really die that easily, right? But this came from an evolutionary place where we needed to have that alertness and that looking for that danger so that we literally would survive. But now that danger is more emotional and we don't literally die, but we have that experience of emotional death. We don't feel so good. So that's what we try to prevent with the negativity bias. But being in that state doesn't really support us or help us in our life, which is constantly in a negative state. And so when we shift to more of a gratitude place or an appreciation place or a place of being thankful, we generate more positive feelings and thoughts that really end up serving the overall picture of our life. And so it helps reprogram the mindset, all the programs that undermine what we're trying to do, all the ego patterns, all the defenses, all the yucky stuff that we usually experience where we're in a low road place. So just for that, another good idea to take on this suggestion here of being more grateful. It helps us reprogram ourselves, and that makes everything much more easy. The next one is that it increases self esteem. So when you are in that positive state, you are more likely to look at yourself from a different place and better and experience things differently. And um, also look at yourself differently. And that in and of itself increases how we look at ourselves, improves how we look at ourselves, and um, how critical we might be or whatever decreases. And so we're not beating on ourselves, but we instead we're like, oh, that's kind of cool, right? So we kind of build ourselves up a little bit. And that in and of itself increases how we feel about ourselves, our self-worth, our self-esteem, that all that stuff goes up. Okay, and the last one is that it could be an investment in our relationship. And so when we do that side of noticing things to be grateful for and to appreciate in our relationship, in our partnership with our partner or of our partner, then that creates like a deeper connection, that creates an emotional deposit in the emotional bank of the relationship. And so it's yummy to just kind of appreciate and notice all the good stuff of our partner. Again, we have that tendency to look for the things that don't work, the things that hurt us, the things that we don't like, and we focus and over focus on that, and it doesn't serve us, right? As we know, the more that we focus on that, the more friction that we create, and the worse that things get between us. But so instead, if we focus on the things that we do like, then that's an investment that our partner feels good, and then they're more likely to continue that behavior and to reciprocate. And so then you create a much better dynamic and flow from there. So those are the reasons why we might want to consider being more grateful, more thankful, and to continue to invest and learning how to do those things and have more of an appreciative and thankful and grateful and um, experience mindset approach to our interactions and how we show up. So we cultivate this, we expand it, and we get all of the benefits from it. All right, so I'm going to show you now how to do it. It's going to be 3 ways. Ready? The first one, part 1, is just being thankful in general, being thankful and grateful and noticing everything that you could be grateful for. So this includes things like all of the things that are part of your life that make your life easy and um, just a good life, like running water, right? So we take so many things for granted that we have, and just being grateful for everything that's available that create an easy and abundant life. We could be grateful for plants. We could be grateful for flowers. We could be grateful for light, electricity, right? So these are just things that we totally take for granted. So we could start with it, all of that. If we start listing all of the things that are part of our life that just make our life great, the list is massive, right? So people who say things like, I don't know, my life is bad. I have nothing to be grateful for. Like, what? There's so much to be grateful for, right? So you could start with very general, like all the things are available. And then you could start going down to more specific areas, the people in your life, the talents, the skills that you might have. Like, oh, I mean, you could just cover all of the areas that that make up your life, right? So the things that you have, the things that you experience, the things that you get, um, everything that you receive, everything that you have. So that in and of itself, like that list is just massive in and of itself. So that's part one. Part two has to do with just feeling appreciation. Now, this might sound a little tricky, but feeling appreciation, if you could just kind of sit in a state of wonder and awe at the awesomeness that our life is at the end of the day, everything that's in our life and everything that we are and who we are, right? We are a marvel. Think about it. Like our spirit in this body doing the things that we do. Like, what a concept, right? And if you start to think about it from that place, it's just so gorgeous. And you could really appreciate all the yumminess that's about you. And that's where it starts. You see, once you start appreciating the things that are great about yourself and acknowledging them to yourself, that's what the appreciation that becomes contagious. So first we're going to start with that big list that I said, but then we're going to drill into appreciating ourselves. So when we find that we're feeling I, I don't feel appreciated in my relationship, my partner doesn't appreciate everything that I do, who I am, what I contribute. Appreciation starts with us, right? So that's the first place when it comes to seeing how this is playing out in your relationship. So, appreciating all of the things that are amazing about you, your strengths, your quality, your gifts, your passion, your uniqueness, the quirks, even the things that are really annoying. They still make you at the end of the day, right? All of the things together make who you are. It's beautiful. And so just appreciating all of it. And and I would even go as far as saying that things that you don't like about yourself and the things that you might consider weaknesses, because those are also places and things that you could use to learn and evolve. And those are also awesome things because this is part of, they make your journey, they're part of your journey. And that in of itself is part of the whole and also beautiful and unique. You see? So start with that. And then from that place, when you are appreciating all of you, you're showing up very differently, right? And when you show up very differently and you experience things differently, you're bound to see other things differently. And this is when you notice how awesome your partner is in turn. You see? So if you're focusing on all of that I just said about yourself and you're in that good state, then that filter translates also into seeing all of the same things about your partner. So you will also look at their uniqueness, their gifts, their talents, their strengths, you see? And now that you could see that and you respond to them differently, interact with them differently because you see all that good stuff, now you're inducing them, you're inviting them to also see you differently because now they're getting good stuff from you. When they get good stuff from you, they're bound to see the good stuff that you're giving them and all the good stuff about you. So now they could show you more of that appreciation. A lot of times partners get stuck because we do the things for the partner and for the relationship, but we do it with expectations, with strings attached, with like just funky energy, not from a place of generous giving and from a place of loving and appreciating ourselves and loving and appreciating our partner for who they are and just doing stuff for them because we want to, or for our relationship because we want to, without all the weird stuff. And if we're not operating from that place, they can't see the beauty in it. They see all the strengths and they see all the resentment and the complaints and whatever energy and junk we might be adding to what we're doing that we want to be appreciated for, you see? And so then they can't see past that stuff and they can't see the thing to appreciate. But if we're showing up from the different angle of or with all our good stuff, because of all of their good stuff, now the whole energy is very different. There's no yucky stuff, so they could see what's good and they could appreciate it. So that's a very tricky way of going about this. And I promise you that when you start operating from this place and you embody this and you show up with this and you lead with this and you approach your partner from this place, things get different. Okay. So that was part two. And then part three is actually appreciating your partner, showing them the appreciation, right? So not just noticing and keeping it to yourself, even though that in and of itself is huge, it will still filter everything that you do and say. So it still has an impact. So that's fabulous, but actually being more proactive about it. So part three is about being proactive, about showing your partner, telling your partner, giving the compliments, giving the appreciations. This is why we start all of our sessions with appreciations, right? So you will share with them all the things that you appreciate that they do, that they contribute, how they impact you, who they are, how they show up, what's unique and awesome about them, even the quirks and the stuff that's not so great because at the end of the day, it's all part of the yummy. And so you get to show that. And that also reinforces the things that they do and the ways that they do show up that you appreciate and it touches your heart. So they will do it more, you see. And then now you have a way of generating the good stuff that you want. And when you do those appreciations and you give those good vibes and those investments, then you actually are enriching the relationship as well. You're creating a deeper connection. You're creating good vibes, creating good mojo. You're deepening your interactions and your connections and the feel good feelings. So amazing. What I want you to do with this is to think about, wow, right? There's so much good stuff here that we could use to make our life better and easier just by shifting the way that we look at things and what we focus on. And so you could embrace this gratitude, appreciation, and thankfulness in different areas, life in general, for yourself and for your partner, in a way that you just create all this richness and this all this awesomeness just by focusing differently and just by noticing differently and by showing up differently from this different angle, this different focus and lens. All right, so quick recap. Ready? So there were 5 reasons why it's important to do this, to embrace appreciation and gratitude and thankfulness. So number one had to do with the brain changes when we tap into gratitude, and then that leads to overall wellness and physical health. Number two has to do with creating good feelings and high vibes, and it makes you more attractive, it makes life easier. Number three had to do with countering the negativity bias, because when we are in appreciation, we are filtering our experience and we notice the more positive things. And so we are reprogramming. Number four has to do with increasing our self esteem. So focusing on the good stuff increases how we feel about ourselves because we're focusing on the good stuff about ourselves. And number four is an investment in our relationship when we appreciate and are grateful for our partner. So in the 3 parts on how to cultivate and be able to do the appreciation and the gratitude better had to do with just noticing all of the yummy stuff that's available in the world, all the abundance that's in your life. So that was part one. Part two had to do with having first appreciation for yourself and showing up with appreciation in good energy and appreciation for your partner so that then that induces them to respond to you differently, more things to appreciate. And that was part two. And part three, to actually appreciate your partner proactively, to tell them the things that you appreciate and love and are grateful for, that they contribute, how they impact you, what they do, who they are. Okay, so now for the takeaways. A few things. I have 3 little homeworks, if you may, little assignments to do. The first one has to do with, on a daily basis, capturing the things that you're grateful for. So you might do a gratitude journal, You might do a quick list of things in a notepad at night before you go to bed. You might set them to in your own head while you're falling asleep. You could do it in the mornings. Like, okay, so what are the things I'm grateful for in my life? And you start your day with a positive appreciation tone to yourself. Just different ways of capturing appreciation. You could get creative with this. So anything that allows you to capture the things that you appreciate, that you're grateful for, and to feel them, take them in, and just embody the good feelings that come from appreciating the things that you have and that are part of your life. The second takeaway has to do with, this is a little different actually. This has to do with doing self-care, self-love things for yourself, because then you're showing yourself, you're rewarding yourself for being awesome and for being you. So you're showing yourself appreciation. You're appreciating you by taking care of you. That's a little tricky. So a little sideways. And like, so um, we're taking care of a lot of different things with these tactics. So this is something that I like to do, little side note here, when I work with couples and even individuals, that, I might give something very practical, like a little thing to do, but it actually addresses and targets so many other things, right? So just giving yourself a little self-care, oh, it's a way of showing appreciation to yourself, but yet it's doing so many other things as well. So a quick little homework like this is actually taking care of many things. That's a nice lever to pull in your self-development and life journey for yourself. All right, so that was takeaway 2. Takeaway 3 is doing little acts of kindness for your partner. So this is another beautiful way to invest in your relationship, to delight and surprise your partner on a daily basis, or whatever cadence you prefer for yourself. It could be daily, it could be weekly, whatever. But it needs to be pretty obvious that you did an act of kindness. It can't just be the usual stuff like that you do. Like, oh, I did the dishes. That's an act of kindness. Mm. That's just part of your responsibilities of sharing a household with your partner. That's not an act of kindness. So just something that's obvious, out of the norm. So it shows up as a nice gesture, right? Now, something that we've done in the past is like gratitude challenges. So as the month starts, as November starts, you might want to take this up and say, you know what, I'm going to do a nice, proactive, intentional, really yummy, simple, doesn't have to be too crazy, but with all those elements in it, act of kindness towards my partner this month. And then I would add that doesn't have to just be for November. You could keep it going. Right? So this is something that we do for February too. Very similar. Like, okay, so all of the nice things don't have to stop because February is over for Valentine's Day. You could keep them going throughout the year as well. Right? But hey, like an extra focus for the theme month is a fun thing to do, to just add a little spice to your life and to change things up and to invest in your relationship. So hopefully these things serve you. Again, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so now. Click that notification bell. And if you want additional support to create change in your relationship, feel free to check out the link below in the description so that you could sign up for an initial session with us and we could discuss how we could best support you in your journey. All right, my loves, thank you so much for watching. I will see you at the next one. Bye.